My fighter, I need to reframe something for you right now, because the way you have been seeing this season of your life is not the way it actually is. And the difference between your current perspective and the true picture of what is happening is so significant that it changes everything about how you walk forward from this moment. I am not asking you to pretend that difficulty is not there. I am not going to tell you that faith means denying the reality of what you are experiencing, but I'm going to show you a different way of reading the same situation, a way of seeing it that is actually more accurate, more complete, and more aligned with what is truly happening in your life right now than the interpretation you have been carrying. You have been looking at this season as if it were evidence of failure, as if the difficulty you are wading through is a sign that something went wrong, that the path collapsed somewhere behind you, that the distance between where you are and where you need to be has become impossible to cross. You have been measuring the weight you carry against the visible supply of your own strength, and the math has not been working in your favor. And so you have started to wonder things you were never supposed to wonder. You have started to entertain thoughts that the enemy planted specifically to get you to stop moving. And I need you to hear something before you take another step. Those thoughts aren't the truth of your situation, and they are not the truth of what I see when I look at you. And if you will stay with me through everything I am about to say, you are going to see your situation through entirely different eyes before we are done. Let me start with what I actually see when I look at you. I see someone who has been carrying more than most people could carry and who is still standing. I see someone who has been walking through terrain that would have broken others and who has not broken. I see someone who has cried in the dark and gotten up in the morning and kept going. Someone who has prayed prayers that felt like they were bouncing off the ceiling and kept praying anyway. Someone who has faced disappointment after disappointment and refused stubbornly, sometimes tearfully, to let go of what they believe. Do you understand what I am looking at when I see all of that? I am looking at a fighter. I am looking at someone with more genuine strength in them than they have ever fully understood. And I need you to see yourself that way before we go any further, because the false image you have been carrying of yourself as someone who is losing this battle is one of the most damaging lies that has been spoken against you, and it is time for it to be replaced with the truth. The truth is that you are not losing. The truth is that you are fighting and fighting well, and the outcome of this fight was decided before it ever started. And the decision was made in your favor by the one who has never lost a fight and who is standing on your side of this one. I want to be clear about what it means that I'm on your side, because I think sometimes that phrase gets said so often that it becomes familiar in a way that drains it of its actual weight. So let me tell you concretely what it means. When I say I am on your side of this fight, I mean that the full, unlimited, unconstrained capacity of the God who spoke the universe into existence is deployed on your behalf in your current situation. I mean that the intelligence that designed every living system, that holds every galaxy in its place, that knows the number of hairs on your head and the depth of every fear you have never spoken aloud, is actively engaged in the specific circumstances of your specific life. I mean that the love that drove me to the most costly thing ever done in the history of creation is the same love that is motivating every act on your behalf right now. And that love does not cool, does not waver, does not find a point at which the cost becomes too high and decide to step back. That is who is on your side. That is what it means, and that changes the math. Whatever you have been calculating about the size of your problem versus the size of your resources, the calculation is wrong because you have not been factoring me in correctly. Your problem is real. Your resources on their own may genuinely be insufficient, but I am not one item on a list of your resources. I am the source from which every resource flows, and the source is without ceiling, without depletion, without limit, and without the slightest concern that what you are facing might be more than can be handled. Nothing you Our facing is more than can be handled by the one who is handling it on your behalf. Let me tell you what I know about the battle you are in. I know exactly what you are facing, not in a general way, not as a category of human difficulty that I am familiar with in the abstract. I know the specific shape of the specific thing that has been pressing down on you. I know the particular weight of the particular burden that has been making every day heavier than the last. I know the thoughts that come at you in the quiet moments, the fears that activate in the dark, the weariness that has been building over time until it has reached the point where even the thought of continuing feels like a weight you cannot lift. I see all of it. Nothing about your situation is hidden from me. Not the depth of the struggle, not the length of the hard season, not the cost it is extracted from you in terms of energy and hope and simple vitality. And I know things about your situation that you cannot see from where you are standing because your view is limited to the visible, the surface of what is happening in the natural. And mine extends through every dimension of the battle, including the dimensions that are completely invisible to your physical eyes. I see what is happening in the unseen realm on your behalf. I see the positions that have been taken, the arrangements that have been made, the things that have been set in motion in the spirit that will become visible in the natural at the right moment. I see the full story of your situation, not just the chapter you are currently living through. And when I look at the full story, I see something very different from what you see when you look at the chapter you are in. What I see is a story that is heading somewhere specific, somewhere good, somewhere that justifies every hard mile of the road that is required to get there. Now I want to talk to you about something that the enemy does not want you to understand, because understanding it would completely change the way you experience what you are going through. He wants you to believe that the level of resistance you are facing is a sign that things are going wrong, that the intensity of the opposition is evidence that you have somehow gotten off track or lost the favor that once covered you. He wants you to interpret the difficulty as abandonment, to feel the weight of the fight as evidence that you are fighting alone. And he wants that misinterpretation to be the thing that finally makes you decide to put down your faith and stop. But here is the truth about resistance. The level of opposition that is arrayed against a life is a direct reflection of the significance of what that life is meant to carry. The enemy does not waste his strongest forces on targets that pose no threat to his plans. He does not deploy his most relentless strategies against people who are going nowhere significant. The intensity of what you are facing is not evidence that something has gone wrong. It is evidence of something very specific. That what is on the other side of this battle is significant enough that the enemy has decided he needs to put everything he has into stopping you from getting there. You are not being attacked because you are losing. You are being attacked because you are a threat. And I need you to hold on to that truth because it is not just comfort. It is a strategic reality that changes how you fight. When you know why the fight is this intense, you stop interpreting the intensity as a sign that you should stop, and you start interpreting it as a signal that you should press harder. When you understand that the resistance is proportional to what is on the other side, you stop being terrorized by the size of the battle, and you start being encouraged by it. Because a battle this significant means a breakthrough. This significant is within reach. The enemy does not deploy this level of opposition against ordinary ground. He deploys it against territory that has extraordinary value, and you are standing on extraordinary territory. Your life, your story, your destiny, the impact you were created to carry into the world, all of it has extraordinary value, and he knows it. Even if you do not fully know it yet, the fight is real. I'm not going to minimize it. The weight you carry is genuine. The weariness is not imaginary. The cost of this season has been real, and I honor that cost. But the fight is also winnable, and it is more than winnable. The outcome has already been settled. Not by the circumstances, not by what either side in this fight is capable of in the natural, by me. And what I have settled is that this does not end in your defeat. What I have settled is that the purposes I have for. When the feeling has gone quiet and the confirmation is absent, and the evidence is harder to see, and every practical indicator suggests that what you are doing is not making a discernible difference. In those seasons, the settled knowledge is the stone. It may not be exciting, and it may not be inspiring, but it simply holds, and you place the next stone because you know why you are building even when you cannot see the building clearly. That is faithfulness in its most essential form. It is not the version that feels like faith. It is the version that acts like faith in the absence of the feeling. That is the version I am most asking for. That is the version that builds something that lasts. I am pleased with you. It is not in the abstract, generalizing way of a creator who feels diffused goodwill toward all of creation. It is in the concrete, particular way of a builder who watches the structure being assembled faithfully stone by stone and finds it good. Perhaps not perfect, and perhaps not without the places where the mortar is uneven, or the stone is not quite as well fitted as it might be, but good, genuinely good, the product of a particular individual operating with real faithfulness in the real life they were given, building something real with what they actually have. That is what I see. And what I see I call good. Faithfulness in the context of that settled knowledge looks different for different people because the plan is different for different people. For you, it might look like making time for a conversation you did not technically have time for because something in you recognizes that the conversation is needed and that you are the person positioned to offer it. It might look like bringing the full quality of your creativity to a project that will be seen by a very small number of people, because the project deserves your full creativity, regardless of how many people will be affected by it. The number does not determine the quality of what you bring. The calling determines the quality of what you bring, and the blueprint does not reduce its output based on audience size. Faithfulness might look like patience in a situation where patience is being tested, where someone is moving more slowly than is convenient, where the same ground is being covered for the third time, where the temptation to cut short and move on is genuinely present, and you stay. You stay not because you are performing patience, but because something in you, the architecture, the thing I built in, recognizes that this individual needs to be waited for. That waiting for them is itself the gift. That the quality of the staying communicates something that words could not adequately say. Faithfulness might look like speaking. Saying the thing you see clearly when staying silent would be easier and safer and more comfortable. When you notice something that needs to be named and you name it, not with aggression or self-righteousness, but with the particular quality of honesty that you carry, the kind that serves the one hearing it rather than the one speaking it. That is a distinct gift, the ability to say the true thing in a way that the soul receiving it can actually receive. Not everyone has it, you do, and sometimes faithfulness requires using it even when you would rather not. As you move forward from this moment, resist the pull toward comparison. The pull that says your contribution is smaller than someone else's because the room is smaller, or the audience is less visible, or the recognition is less public. The pull that measures the blueprint by how it compares to someone else's blueprint rather than by how it functions in the exact life it was built for. Every building is not a cathedral. Some buildings are unremarkable from the outside and essential from the inside. Some buildings serve a neighborhood in ways that no one outside the neighborhood will ever know about, and their value is not diminished one fraction by the lack of outside recognition. The value is in the function. The value is in what actually happens there. You are not the wrong version of someone else. You are the right and only version of yourself, and that version carries something that no other version of anyone else carries. It was built into you with intention in it. is deployed in the particular life that is yours with the precise people who are around you in the exact circumstances that surround you right now. That is the territory of your calling. It is not too small. It is exactly the right size for the one who was made for it. Go forward with this settled. Carry it not as a feeling that will lift you in good seasons and then abandon you in harder ones, as a structural fact that holds whether or not you can feel it. You were crafted. You were built with precision and joy and genuine care. The gifts in you are real, and they are already at work in the distinct life that surrounds you. The calling does not wait for you to become someone different. It is operative right now through the person you already are in the places where your life already takes you. Every act of faithfulness, every moment of choosing to show up fully as the individual I made rather than the edited version of you that the world has asked for is a stone placed in the structure that is being built. One stone, one moment, one faithful choice. One of the things I want to address directly is the notion that the calling only counts when you feel it counting. When there is a felt sense of significance attached to what you are doing. When the moment feels weighty enough to justify calling it purposeful. Because if you wait for that felt significance before you give your full presence to what is in front of you, you will give your full presence to very few things. Most of the moments in which the purpose most needs to be operational are ordinary feeling moments. Consider the conversation that does not feel particularly significant while it is happening, or the small act of care that does not register as a turning point while you are giving it. The patient presence in a situation that feels routine. These are the moments where most of the real building happens. They are rarely the memorable moments. They are the unremarkable ones. The calling does not announce itself most of the time. It does not come with a sense of occasion that signals this is important. Pay close attention. It just shows up in the texture of ordinary life in the shape of the moment that is directly in front of you. Asking for what you have, and you give it without ceremony, without the feeling of significance, just faithfully as the one you are in the moment that is real. And what is built through that faithfulness accumulates into something real, even when no individual stone feels like it matters very much on the day it is placed. As you move through the days ahead, I want you to carry one practical thing with you. A simple question to ask in the moments when you are tempted to hold yourself back, to offer the reduced version of yourself rather than the full version, to deflect rather than receive, to shrink rather than occupy. The question is this: what would it look like to show up fully in this moment as the individual I was made to be? I do not mean in the grand sense. I mean in the immediate sense in this conversation, in this situation, with this person. What does full occupancy of the calling look like here? The answer will not always be dramatic. It will not always involve grand gestures or obvious impact. Sometimes full occupancy looks like listening without rushing to respond. Sometimes it looks like asking one more question rather than moving on. Sometimes it looks like staying in a difficult conversation rather than finding a reason to exit it. Sometimes it looks like creating something with your full attention rather than a fraction of it. The particular expression changes depending on the individual moment, but the principle is constant. Do not give the room a reduced version of yourself when you have the full version to offer. There will be moments when giving the full version costs something, when it requires you to stay when leaving would be easier to speak, when silence would be more comfortable to create with genuine effort, when something adequate and quick would technically suffice. Pay the cost. Pay it not as martyrdom, but as investment, as the faithful builder who places the next stone with care, because the building matters not because anyone is watching how carefully the stone is placed. What you build through the faithful expenditure of who you are accumulates over time into something you cannot see in any individual stone, but that stands visible and real in the whole. Decades from now, there will be people who can point to something in their lives and trace it back. not necessarily with accurate memory of the specific moment, but with the sense that something turned at a particular point, that something in them opened or settled, or was given permission by an encounter with a certain individual who showed up in a particular way. They will not always remember the occasion clearly, but the thing that was built in them by that encounter will still be standing. That's someone whose name they may or may not remember, who showed up fully in the moment as the soul they were meant to be, and in doing so gave something that could not have been given any other way. That is who I made you to be. That moment is what I equipped you for. That is how buildings are built, one stone at a time, without always being able to see the full shape of what is taking form. But the architect sees it. The architect has always seen it clearly from before the first stone was placed. And the architect is genuinely, particularly, deeply, and distinctly pleased with what is being built through you. Amen. If this message touched your heart today, share with someone who needs to be reminded that they were made on purpose and with deliberate, particular care. Drop an amen in the comments to receive this blessing over your life. And if you carry that quiet knowing, that sense that there is more to you than the world has fully seen yet, trust that feeling. It is not imagination. It is not wishful thinking. It is recognition. The design is real. It is active, and it is yours. Subscribe so you never miss a message. And come back whenever you need to be reminded of who you were made to be and what you were made to carry into the world that is yours to serve. Type Amen if you believe in God.